You don't remember?
I vaguely remember, but I get yelled at a lot.
Well, I'm half the people that yell at you.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Promo UPFront, money in the pit, the mullet, a full podcast.
chestnuts roasting over an open fire. Hasseman is nipping at my nose. As we start episode number 127 of the Promo UPFront podcast, I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the president of Pantone, the staff sergeant of soccer, the deacon of the dictionary himself, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the hell are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. It's kind of a crazy time of year for everybody, I think, and wrapping up projects. It's been cloudy in Ohio for what feels like the last 3 weeks, and I'm not living in my house. But other than that, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today's Thursday, December the 8th, and so this drops tomorrow. My kids are coming home today from college. They're ready to come
Nice.
home. I think it's the first time they're really ready to come home. So looking forward to seeing them and having the house full again. And kind of means Christmas is coming. So
Yeah, for sure. That's
excited
cool.
about all that. And and the one thing it's been hard is Mitch doesn't have a car, Drew does, and so they've had to do a lot of coordinating to get home and all that because Drew's going to pick Mitch up. And it got me to thinking, Kirby, about how important communication is. Time is running out. Excuse me. The time's running out on all those holiday gifts to get them for the important people
For sure.
in your professional life, right? Your clients, your coworkers, your employees. There is still, even with 2 weeks left for Christmas, Kirby, there is still time to partner with a supplier that makes holiday gift giving easier than ever. Of course, I'm talking about the Good Strongs over at Evans. That's right. Not only do they have fabulous gift boxes in stock and ready to go, but they'll also consistently communicate with you throughout the entire process so you can focus on your business. Here's a great testimonial of what one distributor recently experienced with Evans. And I love, they really solicit testimonials, and the stuff you get. And again, I get a dump of them, and they're awesome. This one's one of my favorites. Evans is so easy to work with, and the communication is excellent. It's short, sweet, and to the point. And what supplier doesn't want to hear that? What distributor doesn't want to experience that? And Kirby, I know in your life, communication is a hugely important thing, but it takes even greater significance, I think, this time of year, doesn't it? How critical is it for you to partner with a supplier that makes things as easy as possible by leading the communication?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's said so much that I think we lose sight of how important it really is. And by the way, it's a lesson for us as distributors too. Those suppliers like Evans that are not only they kind of keep the line of communication open by saying, hey, here's where the order is, here's what's going on, but being willing to share, hey, this is an issue or this is a problem and how do we fix it? That's how problems get solved, is by kind of communicating and being proactive in that. And so I love that.
Well, and you can get in front of problems by communicating on the front end. You can alleviate pressure. You can alleviate frustration. You can alleviate just angst by doing that. So, Kirby, I couldn't agree more. Frankly, with all the rave reviews that Evans receives from distributors just like you, it's not difficult to see why so many are choosing to make their lives easier by working with our pals at Evans. So I got a question. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Distributor, you need to do yourself a favor. Actually, it's not a question. It's a declarative statement. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Distributor, you need to do yourself a favor and make holiday gift giving easier than ever this year by working with Evans. There's still time to get those last minute gifts out by visiting their website at evans-mfg.com. You're not going to be sorry you did. So, Kirby, here we are, episode number 127. We're in December, the home stretch of the year. And I have the privilege of the upfront part of the podcast this week, which means we're going to talk about something promo, or try to anyway.
Yep.
I feel like it's been forever since I've been in here doing a podcast. It seems like last week when I was out at sea was a month and a half ago.
I bet. I bet.
And I actually, for the first time in a long time, I listened to that podcast. I'm like, man, I'm yelling a lot. I must have thought you couldn't hear me. So I apologize. So I'll try to get the dulcet tones of my voice in order for this. All right, Kirby. This is the gift that keeps on giving on an annual basis.
Yep.
The Pantone Color of the Year for 2023 has been revealed. I've been waiting like a little boy on Christmas morning for 364 days. And Christmas finally came this week as Pantone revealed that their color of the year for 2023 is Viva Magenta. All right. So according to the good folks at Pantone, Viva Magenta vibrates with vim and vigor. It's a shade rooted in nature descending from the red family and expresses of a new signal of strength. They go on to say, it's powerful and empowering. It's an animated red that reveals pure joy, encouraging experimentation and self-expression without restraint, an electrifying and boundaryless shade that is manifesting as a standout statement.
Okay.
So I ask this question every year. Who cares? I mean, who cares about this stuff? I get it, but I to me, it's just it's such a strange marketing thing. It works for them. I talk about it every year.
Yep.
I make sure we talk about it every year.
We sure do.
I think what's I find interesting about the whole process is I think it really just is a marketing thing. I think some people look at it as, oh, Pantone has their fingertip on the pulse of fashion and color, and that they're leading the way. I don't think so at all. And I'd love you to debate me on this. Prove me wrong. Fight me, Kirby, because I think it's just marketing. I don't think they know anything. Who knows why some weird shade of red/burgundy is going to be the color in 2023?
So yeah, I actually will disagree with you a little bit on this. And honestly, it's funny because I think my opinion of this has evolved. When we first started talking about this 72 years ago, when I was like, yeah, they're just making something up, but I know there's more research that goes into it than that.
Of course.
But honestly, I think because we've talked about it, I've noticed that trends do seem to follow what Pantone is talking about. I do, and maybe it's because they've said it, I notice it, right? But I think that's part of marketing, right? That's part of, so I think both can be true. When you say something enough, people start to believe it. And I think because Pantone has done this and positioned themselves as a leader in this space, I think you do see designers, you do see merchandisers follow that trend, especially in retail. And so I actually, whether it started as a marketing stunt, I actually think that it's gained substance, at least through my eyes. It's funny. I have gone from eye rolling about this to actually, like, when I saw the latest announcement, I'm like, we're going to see more burgundy this year. Interesting. So that's my take.
So I'm not going to argue with you on some of that. It is a marketing thing. That's it. I mean, there's no, what research goes into it, I don't know. And I think, I will say Pantone does a great job marketing it. I think they do a great job writing about it. I mean, the stuff that they write is, oh my gosh, it's out of a J. Peterman catalog from a Seinfeld episode. But it is, to me, just a marketing thing. Now, what I think it has accomplished for them, Pantone is always going to be relevant, right? It's always going to be necessary for people in the design world.
Yeah.
It's a very critical tool. But what it does, it brings them into the consciousness to people who aren't in that world. That's what this has done. That's the only thing this has done. And so now that people outside of the design world look for what is the color of the year according to Pantone. Now, what you said is absolutely true. You have designers following. Okay, if that's the color, I'm getting on that gravy train as early as possible. So it has become the ideal marketing case study of, if you tell people, if you build it, they will come. Yeah. And so I regrettably have to agree with you. And I still think, but
go ahead, buddy.
No, I'd say I still think it's a little haughty, the way it's presented. I think they could back off on it. The flowery language is a bit much for me. It's a color, guys. But I do think they do a great job of, and they'll come out with one. Watch, mark my words. Halfway through the year, they'll come out with a special one for some cause or event. Like they came out with special Pantone colors for the Ukrainian flag last year. A few years ago, they came out with one for a certain medical issue that we're not going to chat about because we got yelled at last time we talked about it.
Okay.
You don't remember?
I vaguely remember, but I get yelled at a lot.
Well, I'm half the people that yell at you.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing. I just hate the pomp and circumstance around it. I hate the whole, oh my gosh, they've dropped the color. Okay, it's not that exciting, folks.
Well, so the thing that I would say is that, you know, we've talked about this, like the Power 50 list and, you know, Dale Denham's influencer list, right? The person who creates the list has, like, Dale's never on that list, and he is obviously an influencer in that space. But I think that that's sort of the genius behind it, is that they have positioned themselves as the expert. And so whether they were in the beginning or not, now they have been, I just think that it's an is now. So I think that's kind of brilliant. Yeah.
It's the best marketing tool they could have developed that keeps them relevant in front of people that don't live in that world. So as much as I like to make fun of it, and I do, it matters. And I hate to admit that.
Okay.
You know what, Kirby? I want to move on. I'm sorry. I'm done with Pantone.
Yeah.
I got to amp up the podcast, Kirby. I got to amp it up right now. Is your marketing working, distributors? Well, if you can't answer that question with a resounding hell yes, then you've got a problem, don't you? Well, you got problems, we got solutions. If you can't answer that question with that immediate yes, you need to reach out right now to Promo Pulse. That's right. They help you consistently create stunningly beautiful outbound marketing that's so easy for you to use. You customize it, you set it, and you forget it in 5 minutes, and it's going to amp up your sales. So head over to promopulse.io/amp. Not going to be sorry you did. All right, Kirby, you got a topic for us?
I do. Friend of the podcast, Danny Rosin. He is one of the head guys in charge at Brand Fuel, a distributor in North Carolina down there. Wrote a blog this week. And it was one of those where I was tagged in the blog. And so I got a notification. Yep. Yeah. And so I went and read it. And the blog essentially said that he felt that traditional awards are dead. And he said he was going to ruffle some feathers with this. And I think it started, for some background, for those who didn't read the blog, go to the Brand Fuel website to read it. But essentially said, look, I kind of purged a shelf of awards, and he only kept the ones that were unique and interesting and special to him. And so he said essentially that he thinks that sort of those old school acrylic mahogany awards have run their race. They're done, and that we need to start thinking differently about awards in our space. And so I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this, and then I have sort of a follow-up, but I want your take on it too. So,
I've got a take. I've got a take.
Yeah. So, I want to start by saying, I think I love that Danny challenges status quos. That's who I think he is in a giving way. I disagree with his overall take. And I think that part of it has to do with what stage you're in life, right? So Danny has a shelf full of awards that he's received, and that's super cool. And I think that, you know, you and I are actually both in spaces where, you know, over the course of 20 years of business, we've gotten those awards, and some of them have been crappy and some of them have been meaningful. And I think sometimes it has to do with the occasion as much as it does the actual award. But I also say, man, there's people out there who haven't got any awards, maybe whether they're younger in work or in their current profession or whatever. And that acrylic award could mean the world to them. And I don't think so many times it has to do with not the specific item, but the way that it is managed, right? And so, like, I think to my son-in-law who's working hard in a place here in Coshocton, if he got an Employee of the Month thing and it was a mahogany or an acrylic award, I'm telling you, it would mean the world to him. And so I think, yes, we're in a different season, but but no, I don't think awards are dead. And now I want your take, but then I have a follow-up. So go ahead.
Okay, so I was tagged in it too, which
Mhm.
I appreciate Danny wanting our opinions on it. I looked at it from a different perspective.
Okay.
I didn't look at it as seasons of life. To when I hear that, which is a valid argument, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But I hear that it's like, okay, older people prefer mahogany and brass and glass and acrylic, and younger people don't want that. And I think there's a segment of that. I think what I looked at it was know your audience. I think the definition of award has changed. And
Sure.
so when I look at Danny's article, it's not so much that I disagree. I don't think acrylic and wood are dead. You
Yeah.
can do amazing creative things with acrylic. I used to work with Jay Charles quite a bit, and they do some amazing, and that's not a plug for Jay Charles, but they do some amazing things with custom awards that are acrylic. I think it's knowing your audience. It's understanding how your audience wants to be recognized both in the moment and in perpetuity. Because what I would suggest for a lot of people, exactly like what you said, your son-in-law Keith, that award on a shelf, awards have a lifespan. You have the three moments, okay? You have the moment of anticipation. Are you going to get the award? Maybe you know in advance you're going to get the award. So you have that excitement. And then you have the second moment, which is actually getting the award. It's physical. I can touch it. Now you can rethink that and maybe use a Bluetooth, a really cool Bluetooth speaker with a custom grill that says congratulations on 5 years or whatever. So the award is whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be wood or acrylic. It doesn't have to be a speaker. It can be a million different things. So you have that moment too. But the third moment is the one that's important. It's the memory of the situation of it. When you look at that award, it can, just like a good piece of music can, just like a meaningful movie can, it can transport you back in time to that exact moment when you were recognized by your peers as elevating the team, going above and beyond, hitting a number nobody thought you could, or maybe you didn't think you could. So the award isn't dead, and wood and acrylic aren't dead either. It's just knowing your audience and what they want.
Yeah.
And to me, that goes back to communication. We talked about that at the beginning of the podcast. So to me, it's really understanding your audience. But no, I disagree. Acrylic and wood aren't dead.
Yeah.
They're
And
just different. I think a lot of people don't want that.
Yeah. Well, they may or they may not. But so my follow-up point, and this is the like the thing that I think maybe is bigger for me, is that this week I have been told that email is dead, awards are dead, and blogs are dead. That's just this week.
Yep.
Right.
I saw the blogs one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so can we stop trying to be the first to predict the demise of things? Like, no, they're not. Like email's not dead. You may not like it, and the emails that you get might not be effective, but that doesn't mean the tool is dead. Blogs are not dead. The irony behind this is that I was tagged in a LinkedIn post, which I've been told was dead in the past. I got emailed that notification, and then I went and read the blog about the awards. So to me, we got to stop predicting that everything's dead. You know,
I wish people would stop using the word dead. It's such a clickbait word. So awards aren't dead, they're evolving. Right. Blogs aren't dead, they're evolving. To touch on what you were talking about with the blogs, I think it was Javier Melendez that put out, an AI thing. It was an AI written kind of blurb that a supplier might write. And he had said, I've seen just as good on many supplier sites. I read it. I've not seen that bad on supplier sites. That thing was awful. And I've played with some AI stuff, and it's a lot of work to get it to write the way you want. Okay. It's not easy. Not that it's not going to get there, but blogs aren't dead because there's still some authenticity of the person writing it. And so instead of things are dead, like to your point, Kirby, things are evolving. How do we use strategic foresight to see where it's evolving to, as opposed to saying, this is over. No one's ever going to write a blog again. No one's ever going to give a mahogany or acrylic award again. So I agree. To me, it's a little bit of clickbait, although I thought Danny's point was well ended. I just don't necessarily agree with that it's dead. I think for certain people it is. And I think people need to rethink what awards are and what they look like.
And that was his greater point. So to be clear.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. All right, Kirby.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, I guess it's my turn. Kirby. Kirby. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
The Oxford Dictionary of the Word. The Oxford Dictionary Word of the Year came out this week. Did you see that?
No, I definitely did not.
Oh, excellent. This gives me so much joy. So, pardon me, this word received 93% of the more than 340,000 online votes cast. So it was a clear runaway winner.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like to guess what the word was?
No, I have no
Okay.
idea.
The word, it's actually two words, goblin mode. Can you define the word goblin mode?
I literally do not have the, you know what? Goblin mode is dead.
Okay, so what maybe it's because what goblin mode is, it's after Thanksgiving when you get pie and you go into goblin mode. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Goblin mode.
I would have totally
is a
believed you.
Goblin mode is a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations. Okay.
Okay.
So someone might go goblin mode because they just, I hate Twitter, I hate this, I'm done, that type of thing. That's kind of the context. So
Okay.
the word of the year in 2021 was vax or vaccinations in there. So I want to get your opinion on the word of the year goblin mode, Kirby.
What is my opinion of goblin mode? No, I think that's fun. And I think, yeah, I don't give a shit about that at all. However, I will say that it is indicative of the thing we just talked about with Pantone mode. So it's trying to, the dictionary trying to make itself relevant. And so, okay, I don't think that they've got my attention just yet. I don't see designers running out, although I will say, based on this industry, maybe we can get some t-shirt people to make a t-shirt that says I'm in goblin mode, and maybe then it starts to affect the culture.
Yeah, I think it needs a tagline like I'm in goblin mode and then come get something like that. That'd help out. But it got me to thinking, Kirby.
Okay, good.
I have some other suggestions for word of the year.
Okay.
I want
to hear
these. Are actual words that were considered but didn't make it. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
And what I'm going to ask you to do is see if you can define these terms, and then I will yes or no, and then I'll use it in a sentence. Yes. Well, hopefully not. Techlash, Kirby. Techlash.
I'm going to. I don't know, but my guess would be that it's kind of like you have like whiplash, but from technology.
I'm going to accept that.
Okay.
It's a strong negative reaction to tech companies or their products.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we were using it in a sense, it might be Kirby just deleted his membership of the Promotional Products Professionals Facebook page. Talk about a techlash.
Okay. All right. I love it.
Number 2. Am I right?
Yeah, that feels like you say something and then you ask the group, am I right? Like
correct.
sort of like
2 for 2, Kirby.
Yeah.
It's an informal variant of am I right?
By the way, I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've been whipping my family with that because you can use it anywhere. You can say anything. So to use it in a sentence, PPI Expo. Am I right?
Right? I love it. Okay, I like that one.
Podcasts. Am I right? All right. Number 3, Beardo.
Okay. So I'm going to go with someone who's like a craft beer guy, so much so that he's kind of a weirdo about it. That's what I got.
Okay. I'm really sorry to tell you this. You're wrong. It is a person with a beard. It is a person with a beard. So use it in a sense, man, Petrie is such a beardo. Okay. All right, Kirby. This is a bizarre one. I've got 2 more. Copy pasta.
Oh gosh, copy pasta. I literally don't have an idea. Enlighten me.
Okay. So it's any type of data that has been copied and spread online. Okay. So use it in a sentence. I've seen Danny's blog everywhere. It's like copy pasta.
Okay. I like it.
Right. Last one. Sharent.
Sharent? I guess something that is shared errantly.
You're
like
mistakenly.
mistakenly.
No, you went
Yeah,
left when you
too
should have
far.
gone right. It's a parent who frequently uses social media to share photos or other details about their child. Okay, so to use it to in a
Okay, I
sense,
see.
she loves to share it, but she should really check her Facebook privacy settings.
Okay. I
So
like that.
those are
That's good.
some. I honestly, out of all those, I think the word of the year is "Am I right?"
Yeah, I like that
Am I
one.
right?
I like that one better. You are right.
All right, all right, all right. You got one more for us before we go into our final results for the gambling for good. You got one more, or we want to go into gambling for good?
Let's just go gambling for good. I
All
have this will be a
right.
topic for next week.
Excellent. All right. So, Kirby, last week, we went into last week. For those of you who haven't been listening and this far on the podcast all year, we were picking 3 games in the college area,
Yep.
3 football games in the pro area, not against the spread, just straight ahead, win loss. And the loser was going to have to donate $100 to our good friends at the Promotional Products Education Foundation. So last week, Kirby had we were dead heat last week. Both of us 46 and 32. Okay.
Yeah.
We had a lot of different picks last week, some the same. Kirby, I've got some news for you.
Okay.
University of North Carolina, the alma mater of one Danny Rosin, they did you dirty. You did not win that game. TCU,
They did me dirty.
Purple
too.
Baylor, did you dirty. USC, did you dirty. And then the one that broke the camel's back, Kirby, the Chicago Football Bears, did you dirty. Kirby, you went 2-4 last week. I went 3-3. I am the winner of picks for good at 49 and 35. You were one behind me at 48 and 36.
Well done.
Yeah, it was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna donate $100 PPF. I
Absolutely.
am going to match that. So we're gonna send $200 to our good friends at PPF because hey, this was fun. I think we'll do it again next year.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And it's funny. That was like literally my worst week. I think I don't think I ever had a 2-4 week. So what are you gonna do?
No, I can look back. But
I mean, I believe you.
You know what's interesting though, over the course of time, we were pretty consistent. We both had a pretty good 1-loss record. I mean, we were well above 500, which not easy to do, and I think what it has to do a lot with, keeping that lines of communication open.
For sure.
Which it's again, which brings me back in a, kind of a sponsor way to our good friends at Evans, who will communicate with you throughout the entire order process. And hey, there is still time to go ahead and secure those end-of-year gift-giving opportunities to really recognize the people who make your personal and professional lives easier. Your clients, your coworkers, your employees, people who touch your lives all year long. It's a really great opportunity this time of year to say thank you. And Evans has so many options. They have a gift giving guide out there, but if you head over to their website, evans-mfg.com, you're going to see all sorts of options. And the key is, and to tie it back to what we were just talking about, they're going to communicate with you throughout the entire process. They make it as frictionless as possible for you to do what you need to do with Evans and get back to your day. They've got your back. They're going to make it easy for you. So, and I know that's a big thing for you, Kirby.
It is indeed. I mean, especially this time of year when things are, you're trying to keep all these balls in the air, having a supplier that communicates and keeps you in the know is just super powerful.
Absolutely. And you know what else is easy, Kirby?
What's that, Bill?
Saying goodbye on this podcast. Bye.
Peace out.